Welcome to the first of our hopefully a consistent series of In Conversations with. Our first guest today is Professor Michael Rosemann from QUT. I'm really excited to have him here today. He's been a mentor of mine for many years. I was initially your student.
Correct, yes, a long time ago.
Yeah, more than a decade ago. So we've been keeping in touch and been good friends ever since. I'll let you tell a little bit about yourself and what you do in QUT.
Thanks. So Mervyn, it's great to be here. I'm equally excited and lovely to see you, of course, again. As you know, I'm a professor at QUT for information systems. I actually like to relabel it to innovation systems. I would love the idea of being the first professor for innovation systems. But in that space, we try to work out what is innovation, what's a system that supports innovation, what do new graduate students have to know about innovation, and how do we embed scalable, efficient, attractive innovation systems in large corporations across all kinds of industries.
Yeah, and I know that you've been busy doing that and various other things and speaking as well. So do you even lecture anymore these days? Or?
I love lecturing. I don't do it as often as I would love to, but yes, I'm lecturing undergraduate, postgraduate classes, and it's a great sounding board when you talk to digital natives as opposed to established corporate thinkers. So it's a fertile ground to test your own ideas. So I appreciate this a lot, and it's bi-directional value, I hope.
That's great. So moving on to the next topic, we want to talk about the topic of innovation and I guess how innovation is impacting businesses and organizations at the moment. Innovation is a hot topic. Over the last 24 months or 2 years, I see a lot of innovation managers, innovation officers. I myself is a chief innovation officer of Presensol. I mean, we've been given this title or given this role to kind of look at what are the changes out in the market, technology or otherwise, and to innovate and evolve and change an organization. And that whole industry almost of innovation management is currently, I guess I would say it had his 2-year run. However, talking to a lot of other of my peers, not everyone does it consistently, successfully. Just today I was talking to Brisbane City Council and one of my peers over there, and they were saying there's multiple different innovation spots, and they're all kind of doing and kind of operationalizing some of those changes. But there's because of BCC is such a big organization, there's better coordination to be had and better, I guess, structured approach to innovation to be had in that space. So how do you see this trend as well?
Well, first of all, I think it's great that we talk about innovation. I believe it's good that organizations move from a focus of protecting today and transactional performance to, in addition to this, a focus on the act of change. And now innovation is the big buzzword, but I think it's in principle good that organizations focus also on transformational performance. Second, I agree with you that this notion of a buzzword creates emotions, noise, that can be unhealthy. And I think it's important that we stabilize this conversation and really work out where are we, what needs to be done, what are emerging best practices. I sometimes compare this with the 70s when large software vendors looked at organizations. Nothing was structured, there was no best practice, there was no software. And then organizations like SAP or Oracle would emerge and would put software, rigor, processes, the ability to repeat around transactional processes. Now 40 years later, we develop an appetite to do the same, to change. And we see not just enterprise systems, but innovation systems emerging. And I see this massive demand to industrialize, to professionalize innovation. And that we go beyond reading the latest HBR article and then doing whiteboarding and creativity and design science to, and that sounds brutal now, innovation efficiency, innovation productivity. So I think innovation 2.0 needs to focus on how do I get all these magic toys and tricks, open innovation, crowd-based innovation, design-based innovation, evidence-based innovation, how do I get them all connected and what sort of method do I need when?
Yeah.
So when we talk to companies, they have an oversupply of innovation services. How to ideate, incubate, test, learn, scale, and so on. They want to understand under what circumstances do I use what sort of innovation service. And again, I believe here's a massive, massive opportunity for corporations and for individuals to contribute to this emerging world of innovation systems.
Yeah, and I think that you're absolutely right. I see that at the moment there's a lot of, as you say, noise and activity around different innovation ideas, plugging into even the startups and the entrepreneurs and the ideas, the inventors, to actually get all that. And I think a few sessions or a while ago we had a chat about, or I attended one of your talks about the fact that that needs to be collaboration of big organizations with startup companies and inventors, because they can actually, that one is really good at transactional processing, stable business models, and innovation is a thing on this side they're trying to do, and to be able to then transition, commoditize or commercialize these ideas is a challenge. They may be successful in small, sort of outside the model type trials and all that, but it seems like there's still not a consistent way or challenge to kind of, in a very, massive scale up of assimilating these innovative ideas into the business model and transitioning it.
Correct. So, and on that topic, this year we plan a series called David Meets Goliath, where one big player, a big bank, and fintech entrepreneurs would come together. It could be a large travel organization and entrepreneurs in that space. It could be a large university and then edutech, entrepreneurs who want to improve learning. And my gut feeling is that access to entrepreneurs becomes a new competitive advantage. I see entrepreneurs as an entire new breed of suppliers. This is where your fresh intake from business models, technology artifacts comes from. And entire economies, countries, organizations who do this really, really well will have a competitive advantage. So again, I believe, talking about new jobs, brokers between David and Goliaths, platforms that facilitate this will create entire new dating platforms, you could argue, where young talent but light on assets meets asset intensive but light on idea corporations.
I mean, a while ago I wrote an article about checking your ego or checking your pride at the door when it comes to this collaborative age. You no longer, organizations that don't open to this concept of let's collaborate and let's even work with competitors or work with others who are kind of in this space, they're smaller, assimilate, work together. It's where you can then become better than what you currently are. And I see it, organizations or individuals or even startups that actually close themselves up and kind of like just think this is the best thing, would not actually be as successful as
I agree. The way I often characterize this is, if you're a small entity, all you can see is the opportunity. You're so small, you don't have people to pay, all you have is one big business idea. When this idea takes off, you get bigger, you develop infrastructure, you hire people, develop systems. That means you have to comply, and you build certain strengths, and problems pop up. And so, in terms of a SWOT analysis, you obsess with the S, the strengths, the W, the weakness, and the T, the threats. And the former capital O becomes a lowercase o, to the point that many organizations don't even know how to manage the O. They have a risk manager, but nobody looks after the opportunity. And for me, this yin and yang is that large companies understand the S, the W, and the T, and the entrepreneur understands the O. And to bring these puzzle pieces, I think it's important. We've seen one organization here in Brisbane who probably just hired the very first chief opportunity officer. So this is an attempt where you'd say, I don't want to rely on entrepreneurs, I want to have that strength internally. But to go so far and making the O in your SWOT analysis something that deserves attention, to the point that the C executive that is appointed. And I can see how future senior executives who consider the CTO role or CIO role all of a sudden emerge and say, well, I might be interested in the chief opportunity officer, because a lot of opportunities will be technology enabled. But these are individuals who are not strong only in a technological context, like a CTO, or focused on technology, like a CIO, but they're perfect boundary spanners between the technology-driven opportunity and they can contextualize this in the environment of an organization. They can see customer experiences, they can see revenue streams, and I believe we are only at the beginning of seeing this entire new suite of senior executives called Chief Opportunity Officers.
I guess coming back to the subtopic of stabilizing this trend of innovation and kind of helping it industrialize. I know QUT has training course called Nest as well. Do you want to talk a little bit?
Correct. So the Nest is one attempt where we try to bring these kind of two sides of the story together. So we will keep on needing classical business analysts who are strong on understanding productivity, current environments, problem spotting, and they can react to shortcomings. But in addition to this, we need also individuals who are strong on the O. When all the pain is gone and everything is automated, what else can I do? And queries like, how do cloud-based solutions lead to new revenue opportunities for a bank? What could a hospital do with augmented reality? How does the Internet of Things facilitate new educational services? These are just 3 examples for challenges that you face, and they're not about pain relief, they're about nurturing opportunities. And the Nest is our rapid process redesign approach, where we try to cover both sides of the story: the reactive pain relief, the way we know it, but then also the very proactive nurturing of opportunities.
Yeah, that's great. And we sent, I think, 6 of our consultants to the course, and it's we're also slowly trying to assimilate the Nest into our framework as well, which is all about operationalizing these opportunities and getting it consistent and changed, propagating it throughout the organization, and I guess stabilizing that change into the organization. Which I think is that it's really that, as you say, that gap, being able to commercialize and operationalize change.
Correct. Yeah, that's good.